Welcome to the question of the day. Today's question is from Lisa in Nebraska, and she asks, how do you drive leads in a slow season? That is a great question. I'm going to walk you through what I do when I go visit a company. When I visit a company and we identify challenges, low leads, this is the exercise that I do, or some key areas that I check in. So we're going to start at very high level, what I check in on, but ultimately we're going to land on what does a salesperson have control over? So, funny thing about slow season, it's a lot like a hole in the yard, right? Like if you had a hole in your front yard, right in front of your steps. So, like when you walk out every morning, you're going to step in it, right? And, it could turn an ankle, fall over. At least it would be annoying. So there's a hole in your front yard, right in front of those steps, right where you walk every single day. It's the same place every single day. It doesn't move. You're going to do something about it. At some point, it's going to get so annoying. You're going to get so fed up with dealing with this hole that you step in every day. You're going to do something. And there's a lot of things you could do. You could fill it with dirt. You could put a board over it. You could put a little flag in it so that you see it every day. Like there's a lot of different things you could do to address the hole in the yard. Slow season is the exact same way. It's almost the same time every single year, yet we don't plan for it. We just deal with the hole. We step in the hole every single slow season. And it's only when we step in the hole that we say, hey, we should do something about this. I don't know about you, but I want to fix the hole in my yard before I sprain my ankle, not after I sprain my ankle. So here's the first check. When I'm visiting a company, first check that I have is I check, does the company have a plan? Does the company have a strategy, right? And usually they do. That's going to be something like a marketing plan for the year, right? Like if we've gone through the year, we've looked at seasonality, we've developed a marketing plan, and that's where you see promos during the slow season, like a freebuary, like a free furnace kind of giveaway, something like that. The idea is to drive leads in the slow season. So, do you have a marketing plan that addresses the slow season? Do you, at a company level, do you have service plans, system checks, maintenance agreements? Do you have those kind of things to rely on during the slow season? Because this is the time that you would run those. This is what you fill the day with. Are we maximizing all areas of our business, right? So do we have that marketing plan, driving leads? Are we booking those leads? Are we getting technicians and salespeople out to those leads? Are we closing those leads? Are we closing those leads for as much as possible? Like looking at the whole gamut, and are we maximizing all areas of the business? Because those areas that we're not doing so hot in during the busy season are really going to hurt us in the slow season. So there's a lot of things, but that's the first things I'm going to check is like, does the company have a plan? Second thing I'm going to check, are we doing effective follow-up? So the leads we do have, the leads we have ran already, are we closing those to the best of our abilities? This kind of piggybacks off of the maximizing all areas of the business, right? So I want to make sure that I'm effective closing in the home, but I also have a consistent follow-up process to make sure that those sell. I did a training one time. I did a training with some high-level salespeople, and I threw out this scenario. I said, let's imagine I gave you 20 customers for the month. That's it. No more, no less, exactly 20 customers. And that's all you got for the entire month. And I said, the one rule is you can't quit either, right? Like in this scenario, this imaginary scenario, you can't quit. It's not a possibility. So you have 20 leads. What are you going to do different? And the highest performing salesperson in the group, he raised his hand and he said, I'm going to figure out a way to close those leads. Exactly. That's it. So why don't we take that mindset and apply that every day, right? Like the leads we already have, let's close those and make sure we have a consistent follow-up process to make sure that those close. But yet, I don't know, we just think leads are going to keep coming and this is the land of milk and honey. So we just let them go and we don't follow up. So make sure you have an effective follow-up process. That's the second area I'm going to dive into. All right, so now let's get into the salesperson. What does the salesperson have control over? Because they have skin in the game here, right? We want the company to be driving leads because we benefit from those leads as well as a salesperson. But I do want to address it is not the company's responsibility to serve you up leads, right? Like you don't own the company. The owner pays for those leads. It's the owner's leads. And so it's not their job for me to just sit there and have the attitude of you got to serve me up leads. We got to go out and drive our own leads as well. And these slow season times are those times that we got to step up and we got to drive our own leads. Think about it like this too. Like we're in a very spoiled industry where we have leads served up to us as salespeople. Most sales jobs, you got to drive 100% of your own traffic. Like you got to go find your own leads. Years and years and years ago, when I first started my first coaching business, when I decided to go out and do coaching and training, I didn't have people lining up saying, "Hey, come coach us." I didn't have anybody serving me up leads of people that wanted to be coached or trained. I had to go get those leads myself. I had to go find those companies myself. Oh, and then COVID happened too, right? And nobody wanted to do in-person training. Nobody wanted to bring you out to their location. Like it didn't happen. So then you had to find leads on top of that and figure this whole virtual learning thing out, right? So we're in a very blessed industry that we even have leads that come our way. So in these slow seasons, it's not too much to ask that us as salespeople that we're going to dig in and drive some of our own traffic as well. That's the difference between good and great. Good is just going to sit back and wait for the leads. The great, those are the ones that are going to make it happen. So there's two types of self-generated leads. I call them the slow burn and the quick burn. Okay, so let's start with the slow burn. So the slow burn, these are the relationship ones. These are the ones that they're not going to close today. But if you're a great salesperson, you're playing the long game here. You're thinking ahead. I don't want to be driving these leads my entire life. I would like to build up a foundation where I will have leads in the future. This is really like farming, right? Like I'm not going to eat the crop tomorrow, but I'm going to plant so that I have a bountiful future here. There was a salesperson I saw in the auto industry. Now, I didn't coach this gentleman, but I witnessed early in his career, he spent a ton of time just in the service drive. So people would bring their vehicles in to get service, oil change, stuff like that. And he would just get them coffee, get them popcorn, chit chat with them, right? He got to know everybody. And through that, over the years, he built up relationships with all these people that were continually coming back and bringing their vehicles in for service. He knew them on a first name basis. He knew their kids' names. He knew the activities they were in. He knew all that stuff, right? And when they wanted to buy a car, who do you think they bought the car from? Some random salesperson on the show floor? Or the guy that brought him coffee? The guy they knew on a first name basis? The guy that knew their kids' name? That guy, yeah. He was at the point in his career. Now, mind you, 20 years into his career, right? But he was at the point in his career where he didn't take fresh customers. He was appointment only. He would come in on Saturdays, the busiest day in auto sales. He would just come in, do his 3 appointments, sell 3 cars, and then by noon, he was on the golf course already because he had built up such a book of business that he didn't have to chase fresh leads. That's the idea behind the slow burn, right? So this is going to be the networking opportunities. Get out and know people. Passing out your business card at every single opportunity you can. So this is going to be things like chamber events. This is going to be like church groups, community groups, leading a community ed session. I used to lead community ed sessions when I was coaching a service department, an automotive service department. We did community ed sessions just on like the basics of a car, like how to change a tire or how to check your oil, stuff like that, right? And through that, we gained a relationship with people. We taught them something. We weren't selling something. We were freely giving up our time and some pens and promotional items, right? But people now had a relationship with us. And so they came back to us, right? So like a community ed session or any other volunteer type session, just getting out there, meeting people. Establish relationships with realtors, property managers, anybody in your industry or adjacent to your industry. They don't always line up, but you can create these opportunities by getting to know these people. Social media is another one, right? Like we're in the age of social media. Guys like Gary Vaynerchuk, like they're blasting content out constantly. And I've seen a lot of great salespeople that are just taking their time to put content out so that people get to know them. And you don't have to give away like the keys to the kingdom here. It's again basic things like the community ed session. How often should you change your furnace filter? What does a dirty furnace filter look like? Why is it important to change a furnace filter? Like these little things, right? And people see you on social media and they get to know you. And then when they need something, you're the one they go see, right? And that's why these are called slow burn. None of these. Okay, if I go to a chamber event and I'm in, let's say I'm a plumber, right? And I'm selling something plumbing related, like nobody is going to be at that chamber event and be like, "Huh, glad I talked to you today. I have a job for you." It's almost never going to happen, okay? But they're going to get to know me over and over and over and they're going to remember I'm the plumber, right? And then when they do have a plumbing related issue, I'm the guy they're going to call. Everybody wants a guy or a gal, right? And if you can establish yourself with these slow burn networking opportunities, this is how you start to build up that book of business. This is what fills in the slow season with self-generated leads. So that's the slow burn. Let's get to the quick burn, right? So the quick burn, we're stepping in the hole right now. We got to drive some leads right now. So what are we going to do about it? Well, the first thing is make sure you got a referral program. This kind of falls under the company thing, right? Like the company plan, but as a salesperson, I have to drive the referral program. But at a company level, we need to have a referral program. And so I, as a salesperson, it's my job to make people aware of that. How do I make people aware of that? Well, I go visit my previous customers, right? So if my previous customers are getting an installation, probably a good idea to stop in when it's getting installed, check in with your customer. How are they doing? How are they liking the work? Bring the installers donuts and Powerades, something like that. Like you're checking in on everybody. And while you're there and they tell you that, yeah, we're thrilled and we're completely excited about this, let them know about the referral program. Explain how it works. Pass out a bunch of extra business cards. These aren't designed to close at high rates, but if you get one here, one there, one there, that's going to start to fill in that slow season. This is how you get self-generated leads. So educate them on that referral program. Visiting the installs. There's actually a whole bunch of other opportunities when you're visiting an install. Google reviews. Google reviews are a great place to start getting future referrals. Like when I go and a customer is completely satisfied, I tell them, yeah, we love hearing from our happy customers in the form of a Google review. And I say, selfishly, I love seeing my name on these things, right? So then when they fill out their Google review, they're probably going to put, Chris was awesome. So when a future customer is going and looking at Google reviews and they see Chris was awesome, Chris was great, Chris, guess who they're going to ask for? They're going to call in and they're going to say, hey, can that Chris guy come to my house? They're going to ask for me by name. So I'm driving leads for the company, but I'm also driving leads for myself. When you're visiting an install, typically most houses in the area were built at the same time. And there's this thing called planned obsolescence, right? Like things go out about the same time. A toilet, for example, is designed to last about this long. And when one goes, another goes, and they all go about the same time, right? So whether we're talking about HVAC, plumbing, electrical, odds are all these houses were built about the same time. If you start walking the neighborhood, I'm betting somebody in the area is running into the same issue. And you don't have to hard sell this. You don't have to hard close it. Just knock on the door and the neighbor is getting theirs installed. Just let them know, hey, we're installing this for the neighbor. If we're in the way, just, let one of us know. And also, if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So what a fantastic opportunity to walk the neighborhood. Social media, again, this is a great one when you're visiting that installation. Ask the customer, hey, if you're completely satisfied, do you mind if I take your picture next to your new furnace, right? We love putting it on our Facebook page so that everybody else can see what great work we do, right? And how happy you are. Most customers are going to say yes to this. And then you can post it on your company Facebook page, tag the customer. And when you tag the customer, guess who sees it? Everybody they're friends with on social media. And I'm betting on the hundreds or thousands of friends I have, somebody has a question related to your industry. Somebody will see that and they're going to say, ooh, the Johnsons just got a new furnace. Mine has been making a funny noise. I've been meaning to call somebody. They look pretty happy with that Chris guy. I better call that Chris guy, or I better call that company. All of these, again, drive leads. And again, on the social media, I would put my name on the social media so that they're asking for me, right? So it drives a lead for the company, drives a lead for me. You see this in other industries all the time. When you go buy a vehicle, the dealership, they take a picture of you standing next to your vehicle and they put that on social media. That's why they do it, right? Same thing when you buy a house. They got the giant wooden key that you hang on to and they take your picture with it. They put that on social media. That's why they do it. They're driving their own self-generated leads. You can do the same thing. There's some other opportunities here that you have direct control over. Outbound calling. You don't got to wait on the call center to do outbound calling. Jump in and help them. Follow up. Make sure you're following up with your customers. If you have an inside salesperson, jump in and help them follow up. Doesn't mean they have to do it all. What are you doing anyways? You're sitting around. You don't have any leads. Jump in and start driving your own leads. Some companies utilize a down payment program. So a down payment program is a great way that we can take previous customers and maybe they did some light repair work, but there was some more major work that could have been done. Follow up with those customers. You could take the cost that they paid for that light repair work, apply it as a discount to the larger repair work, and that's considered a down payment program, right? So they're taking that money, it didn't go to waste, and they're applying it to the larger repair or the replacement, right? So a down payment program. Call those customers, let them know about that. Get out and ride with somebody else in your industry. Ride with a technician. If you're a salesperson, ride with a technician. One, you're going to learn things. Two, some of those leads are probably going to turn into replacement opportunities and boom, you're there. You're already there. Again, what were you do? What else you got to do? Be where the sales are going to be. And on that note, I mean, just be available at the shop because as leads do come up, hey, you're available. You can run these leads, right? So there is a ton of things that you can do to drive your own traffic. Some of them are slow burn. Some of them are quick burn, but there are a ton of things that you have control over so that you can drive your own leads. So here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you, pick one of these things. Which are you going to do today to drive leads? Or you're just going to sit and wait for somebody else to do it for you. Aristotle said, happiness belongs to the self-sufficient. Which one are you going to do today? And that's today's question of the day. If you're enjoying question of the day, follow, share, give a rating. Question of the day is on major streaming platforms. If you have a question, reach out to me either on social media or email. Both are going to be listed below in the show description. Let's get your questions answered. And if you're a Nexstar member, schedule a call with me. Let's get this addressed one-on-one and get specific to your situation. I'm Coach Chris. I'll see you tomorrow.